What if we could solve all economic problems and end pain and suffering simply by changing the way we think about money? What if I told you there is a global movement leading the world right now from poverty thinking to prosperity living? Would you join us? All the pain and suffering in the world is rooted in the false narrative of the scarcity mindset. The scarcity mindset believes in a world of finite resources with not enough for everyone to go around. And this way of thinking creates the illusion that money itself has power. It does not. Money only has the power we give it. We have been living for centuries with painful, narcissistic social structures and economic systems benefiting only those few people who are willing to do anything to achieve money and power under this false belief. Electing politicians and corporate leaders driven by fear and scarcity into positions of power has proven to be both dangerous and destructive. And it's over. And it's painful, even for those at the top who are desperately holding on to their false illusion of money and power. No one wins with poverty thinking. There is an alternative way of thinking about money, the abundance mindset. The abundance mindset includes heart space, which knows the truth. People living with an abundance mindset, which millions of us are discovering, comes from a deeper sense of worth and security, grounded in the truth there is more than enough for everyone. Changing the way we think about money, starting with ourselves, from the false narrative of scarcity and not enough to the truth there is more than enough, we can end suffering and change the world. Together, we can create a new world rooted in the truth of abundance, a world where everyone has an opportunity to live a life of love, joy, and prosperity. I spent most of my life living in fear of not being good enough. And the only solution was to be rich and make a lot of money. Growing up different or queer or not a normal boy exacerbated deep feelings of shame and unworthiness, making it even more important that I be rich and successful in order to fit in and feel like I belonged in this world. Driven by this fear of not being good enough, I achieved higher levels of financial success than most until it all came tumbling down and I had to face my biggest fear. I came almost to the edge of bankruptcy. 2016, I was a top producer for the Fortune 500 financial services firm, trying to build my practice and generate enough revenue to keep my beautiful office on the 44th floor overlooking Park Avenue in Manhattan. The thing is, at that time, I was not attracting any new clients, and it seemed most of my older clients didn't really want to work with me. Quite frankly, I was in such a state of fear, I didn't want to work with me. I wasn't just afraid of money, money terrified me. I was having an especially dark day, curled up on the sofa, having a pity party when I decided to call my spiritual teacher and coach for some guidance. She pointed out to me it was my obsession with money and my fear of not being good enough that was destroying my business. She suggested that I lean into my contemplative practice and surrender my obsession with money to God. I have been a contemplative for over 35 years, and I knew exactly what she was suggesting. I gave up my resistance and found the courage to face my fears and let go of all my beliefs and opinions and judgments about money, and more importantly, to let go of that false belief of not being good enough. Now, this may sound a little cheesy, but as quickly as I totally surrendered everything, I found myself in a space of profound peace and and it instantly became clear that I had to change the way I think and relate to money, and I had to include my space. Albert Einstein says, we cannot solve a problem with the same thinking we used when we created the problem. We have been trying to solve economic problems with the same thinking that created the problem since the beginning of time. Einstein is pointing us to a metaphysical solution that works. And now is the time for everyone to cultivate an abundance mindset and engage the mind of higher consciousness. When have you been stuck inside a story of not good enough? The underlying belief of the scarcity mindset. When have you been disappointed when your belief that more money would solve the problem, only to discover that more money only created more worry of not enough? Who would you be without your story? More specifically, who would you be without your shadow story, which is always the false narrative of not enough, the common belief of the scarcity mindset? Inquiry is a powerful spiritual exercise where the heart challenges the shadow's false narrative with one simple question: is it true? Is it true that you're not good enough? Is it true there aren't enough resources to go around in the world? Is it true that the great creator of the universe created out of lack? No, that's ridiculous. If that's not true, ask yourself, what is true? And tell yourself and shout it from the rooftops: I am enough. I am more than, I am actually a miracle of abundance and prosperity. I have everything within me to create a new world from the truth. We are created from love and abundance, and we create from love and abundance. Will you join us in this mindset shift from scarcity to prosperity? Imagine yourself waking up every day with a deep knowing that you're playing your part in ending suffering and pain simply by changing the way you think about money. Imagine living in a world where everything we do, see, touch, and feel is all in service for the betterment of others. Imagine in your personal world where all money and financial transactions were in exchange of this infinite creative love energy we call money. Imagine how you will feel never waking up again with fear of not having enough, not only for yourself, but for everyone. When you question the ego thinking mind from this higher level of consciousness, you transcend it to a deeper level of truth and wisdom. On the individual level, it opens the heart space, the center of all creation. It is that still point within us that unites and creates all of life. When we are coming from heart space, we are empowered to change the world, and that feels good. Will you join us?